Okay, thank you for hanging out during the intermission. Had to go move my vehicle, so I'm saying. Thank you, Jesus, since you want to be all up in my business. Anyhow, thank you, Lord, for social media, right? And opportunities such as this on this YouTube type of stuff. I'm not trying to impress nobody. So I know this video probably look fucked up or whatever. I'm just using like a Zoom us to make the shit. I don't have the equipment. I don't have all that to do the fancy stuff and all that. Okay. It's not about that. Okay. Literally, you should not even be looking at me because it doesn't matter. What matters is the information, okay, that I'm bringing to you because you can utilize it in your own situation, circumstances, and or gain and gather whatever you want, draw from whatever you want to where if you come across somebody that's going through a situation like this, you can kind of tell them, what the deal is, right? So in Columbus, Ohio, um, they know about a lot of slumlord issues in the Ohio, all right? So yeah, because I've been doing this for years. Like I don't allow people to just have me living up in unsafe and unhappy places. And each and every time, what happens is they literally retaliate. Mhm. So it will behoove you. I did this for you. I did this for you too, right? Anytime you find a landlord, especially private landlord, what you need to do is you need to request public record for the landlord under their name and the address from Ohio Attorney General and also from the city of Columbus, okay? Code enforcement or whatever, 311.gov, request a public record under the address and whoever the name of the owner and the property management is, all right? Because if they've ever crossed my path, and I've lived in any of their properties and it posed an issue complication where code violations were actually issued and I had to complain on them and shit like that and they're retaliated. It's on public record. All right. So it's for you. There you go. All right. And there are quite a few of them. Okay. So you can go and you can look it up and shit like that. You say, oh, hell no, this bitch did this shit. I don't want that shit. I don't want that shit. They lying. They just have you moving up in rat infested shits. A whole furnace and stuff like that won't work. Your stove won't work, or you might plug in your stove and you got your lights and shit on, but you plug in your stove. It's like, and so all this shit because the circuit breaker amps is not sufficient enough to hold what you really need power and energy wise to have things working that you actually need to just meet your very basic needs in life. And shit like that happens, right? Or they leave old tenant shit in there and stuff like that. Or, like the dishwasher won't work, the washer won't work, the dryer won't work. None of this shit works. Okay. Refrigerator won't work. Or at this particular place, there was a whole refrigerator in there. They masked that it was clean by actually cleaning it out when you open. But every time you open it, you have like a scent like on your fingers. And it's like, what is that? And it was literally making everybody in the household sick. Like, is it like, oh my God, like, and come to find out it was all kinds of black, nasty, brown, real brown liquid on the inside of the freezer and the refrigerator type of stuff. And that landlord, Christian Guadalajara, he wasn't going to replace it. He was going to do anything. He said, sure, just put a whole bucket of bleach in it. We had already been kept trying to clean it out more and stuff like, because we was thinking like, well, maybe they don't clean like how we clean. Let's do some bleach. It's just still, it was making us literally sick. Yep. And so it was so much brown, liquid, nasty shit. I'll come on here and show that shit. I've been on several platforms and you could just see it. It's just so nasty. So and then somebody he finally did because he had to be turned in about that too. So he finally did get somebody to come replace the refrigerator. So the delivery guy here, when he pulled the refrigerator out, he's like, "Oh my God, what is that? Ugh, looked like grain matter and everything." Honey, ain't no telling what was going on there. I believe it was something very ominous. Maybe the tenant there before actually was killing people or something like that. I'm not playing. I'm not joking. Or doing some type of witchcraft seances or something like that in there. I mean, the walls were burned. The baseboards had incense burns underneath the cabinets. There was Irish soap underneath, and it had like incense sticks that had been burned down still in the cabinet. It was all kinds of black mold and soot and powder and all kinds of weird stuff. And this one particular cabinet over there, it stayed that way for the whole time because he would never fix it, never take it out, never replace it. The whole cabinet almost came down off the wall. This is all documented, everything. This is exactly what they want to cover up because they don't want you to know that the city had full awareness of all this and they never did intervene and never did do anything about it, right? Tara Rome stated that she put that case on hold because it was being challenged, okay? Michael Casone sent a message in the email thread that we were all on saying that actually he wrote, so there's no confusion. It actually was, their city ordinance was actually kind of unconstitutional, all right? Which the city ordinance is what protects a tenant that exercises their right to complain to a governmental agency for landlord retaliation. Okay, so that's unconstitutional. There's absolutely nothing that the city can do. They don't have a constitutional ordinance that they can enforce for that. But then most recently, we just seen where they said that all these different housing initiatives passed, and one was landlord retaliation, where tenants' rights will be protected and they won't get retaliated against from landlord retaliation. So we just out here in the universe trying to pose the question like, okay, what's changed? It was unconstitutional not too long ago, right? According to Tierra Ross and Michael Casone. So city council and whoever's out there, what has changed? What verbiage or whatever that you had in that initial ordinance changed now all of a sudden it's now constitutional. And so these landlords out here can't, they're not landlords, it's slumlords, that they can't retaliate against a tenant that complains to a governmental agency. That governmental agency that they're actually talking about is the city of Columbus, the code enforcement. All right, but they will also actually consider if you even complain to the attorney general. It's a governmental agency that you complain to. Ohio Attorney General will tell you they don't have the jurisdiction. They'll try to do like some type of dispute resolution type of thing if they can, but that's nothing that they can really do. They're not oversight or anything like that. They can't issue any type of violations or anything like that. So, but we tried to pose a question to find that out. But so we don't know who's going to tell Twitter to take that particular page down. We're going to establish another one. We got 800 million fucking emails and shit like that. We can make millions and millions of accounts all over. We come on YouTube, we'll put some shit on motherfucking Pinterest. We'll write a WordPress document on your ass. We got some shit on LinkedIn too. It's all over. It's all over. We got a podcast on Anchor that's free. We need free shit until somebody will invest in what we're doing out here. We're in the South. We're here. We're advocates. Vulnerable population advocates. We're bringing the awareness. We're not fucking around. We're gonna let the public know, right? And also, you need to know about what's going on. But people keep filing these court cases and shit like that. That's your money. That's taxpayer money, ain't it? Yeah. And then you gotta also know what these public officials are like. Because that's you, right? Ain't you voting for them? Ain't you electing them? And you gotta know what they're doing. Right, because what they're doing is you're sitting here lying in your fucking face and shit like that, and you're giving them your vote, and they're just piece of shit, and that's what they don't want you to know, right? Karen Phipps needs to be off that bench. Actually, she needs to be in jail. Her term's coming up in 2025. So remember what I just said, what I just told you. Don't you give no votes for her? She'll revoke your motherfucking right. And what needs to happen is they need to go back and forth every single case that she's been on, criminal or civil, and go through and come up with a fine-tooth comb and see what other narratives that she's spun in the best interest of herself or somebody that she's buddy with and shit like that, that'll put somebody in jail and some shit like that, and revoke their rights and all this type of shit. And so now, I mean, it's very serious. Ain't no telling, because she's been doing it for quite a while. Obviously, been getting away with it. And thought she could get away with it in this case right here. Couldn't even give a motherfucker back their deposit, $1,100, which by the time they would have went to court, it would have been 3 times that because they were asked to give it back and they never gave it back. All right, so let's get back to the Franklin County Municipal Court. G1CB020711. All right. All right, so we put in the thing, right? Motion to vacate. We put in the memorandum of support, which details everything, right? We put a declaration in there saying every fucking thing that we said is true, right? So what the Franklin County Municipal Court did, they did the right thing. They reopened up that case, okay? Based on what they set it for hearing before an actual judge, not a magistrate. So the judge was Judge James Green, all right? So we sat in there, me and my daughter, Michael Casone, Rob DeVot, and Judge James Green. He addressed the issues, okay? He wanted to know, well, what happened with that agreement? Michael Casone placed us under duress during that and actually returned him into the House Supreme Court Disciplinary Board based on that. And they stated that they can't investigate because it's an actual, they looked and they seen this actual case was reopened, so it's an open case. First, when he was first turned in for the duress, it was still an open case. So they said, we don't investigate open cases. Let us know when it closes and we go back in. We can't change the decision, but we can look at that, right? So then we filed another one. For the case after they filed another one, reopened, right? They said, oh, we can't do anything about it because we see that that case reopened, right? Okay. So now the case is actually closed, and another grievance was put in. Michael Casone's got about 3 grievances that was put on his ass with the Ohio Supreme Court disciplinary board, and they haven't done jack smack shit about it. He's unethical and he's participating in illegal practices and covering up fraud and all that type of shit. Ain't nobody doing about it. Okay, that's corruption, right? So we have to come out here and tell the universe, and maybe if somebody out here, if you get to the right person, because that's part of the complication issue too. The right people don't have the awareness of it. Let the right person find out. There's something to be done about it. I guess I don't know. I'm gonna keep on talking to the end of time until these people are held accountable for what they fucking do, right? So anyhow, we all sitting in the court thing. So then when and then so the judge asked Michael son, he goes, like, what's going on with the duress? And he's like, Judge, I just want to let you know that I don't have any open disciplinary actions against me, because he already knows that the Supreme Court already said we can't investigate it because of the open case. You see the games that they play and shit like that? So Judge Green said, so do you have a case against the tenants over here? You have a case? I said, Your Honor, I said, we don't live there anymore. We're out of there. I said, they had code violations. They absolutely ignored deliberately and intentionally. We don't live there anymore. They're all the rent's been paid. So we're not there. But we still have a counterclaim. So he said, but to them, he said, okay, so do you have is that true? He's like, oh, Your Honor, yeah, we just found out that they're not there anymore. Just so liars. Yeah, we just found out the other day, in fact, lying. These are your lawyers, honey. This was your opponent of law. This is what the bar has represented, the Columbus Bar, American Bar Association. Ain't nobody doing shit about it. They should not, they should have their license and all that shit. Whatever they get issued to them, revoked. Should be disbarred. These are very dishonest people. Should not be representing the law, honey. So anyway, he looked at Michael Casson, Judge Green, and said, do you have a case against him? I said, oh, no. I have no fucking case. Where's my deposit? But anyway, they never sent the money. All right. Then he looked over at us and he said, so why don't you want the case heard in this particular court? Okay. Counterclaim. Because our prayer amount, based on the severity of the retaliatory instances and harms, we are asking for more than what the court jurisdiction can allot here. You know what Judge James Green set up on that bench and said at the hearing? It was only Michael Casson, Rob Vermont, myself, and my daughter, and Judge Green did. Alex Castle's ass wasn't there. He don't know shit. He doesn't know anything. He's a colleague of fucking Michael Casson, works in his fucking firm. And the only reason why he took the case once we filed it over there in Common Pleas, 22CP3620, because we had already let the Supreme Court and all that shit know that Michael Casson that's his friend, Rob Vermont, that property management actually manages all of his properties and shit like that. He put the 5-star review on and shit. So they're trying to make sure nobody knows it could potentially be conflict of interest. And maybe that's why he threatened the tenants and stuff like that, taking up for his fucking friend and his own property management, telling them, like, if you don't retract the true report of fraud, all right, that you reported to the insurance company of Krishna Kawabatata and what he actually participated and did before our county Neo portfolio was even on board. We're going to go ahead and take you. We're going to go down and file appropriate paperwork. Get you and your family, your autistic fucking grandbaby out on the fucking street because you out here telling the motherfucking truth and shit like that. So we're going to go down there and file. We're going to use our legal expertise and our legalese to make sure you get out on the street, you and your family that paid all of your fucking rent. You paid every single fucking time you live in this bullshit. Your life is at risk. We don't care. It's true. It's true, honey. And Alex Castle can't speak to shit. He bitch wasn't there. Okay? He wasn't there. All right. But he knows, didn't he go read all the shit that motions and pleadings and shit that we put in? He know the background of it, right? They're still sitting up here lying and playing and joking and shit like that. And had the audacity and the gall to tell the court that we was putting in frivolous claims. It's not frivolous, it's all true, and they know that the evidence exists. Yes, it does, and it still does. We still have bitch, you know. They revoked the rights. All of them did. They all need to be in jail. They're all criminals. They should not be lawyers at all. So just know that these are Ohio attorneys. Alex Castle, Michael Casson. This is Ohio judge, Karen Phipps. She presided in the case 22CP3620 at Franklin County Court of Common Pleas. All right. Judge James Green at Franklin County Municipal Court, he presided over 21CV 020711 once it was reopened and reheard. It was a very fair. He didn't take sides. He just asked point questions and stuff like that. He wasn't biased. He wasn't prejudiced. He wasn't on your side, my side, or their side. No, he's just trying to get to the facts. Judge James brings out there on that bench after we said, listen, the paramount here is about that we're asking for is over the jurisdiction. You know what Judge James said? All right, well, refile your case over there, comment, please. We said, thank you, Judge. Have a good day. Michael Casone heard him say it, Rob Devot heard him say it, we heard him say it, he knows he said it. Yeah. So we put him on the witness disclosure list for 22 CV 3620, because that's exactly what we did. We went over there without the case. And we had every right to, because essentially at the end of the day, the case had not been litigated, the counterclaim. All right. Because Judge James Green, the case was reopened, he reheard it, and he dismissed the case without prejudice. So when a case is dismissed without prejudice, that means it hasn't been adjudicated on a merit, right? So you actually can bring a case. But the way that Karen Phipps told it in her ruling, in her summary judgment, in 22 CV 3620 for her buddy pal friend she went to Capital University Law School with, in the case that we asked her to accuse herself off of, that already recognized and see that all the bias and prejudice that was existing. We already asked her to pick up about the shit. We already told Ohio Supreme Court, all right, in a disciplinary grievance against her, what the fuck was going on before she even made the decision. They said, oh, well, any decision that you don't like that she makes, I mean, just file an appeal, bullshit like that. Okay, these motherfuckers, they know you don't have the money. They know that you really ain't no attorney. I'm not no attorney. I don't know. I'm just doing the very best that I fucking can, you know, by researching and figuring this shit out. Okay. Thank God I did. I went to Capital University Law School and did so for legal nurse consulting and life care planning. Thank God I did, because it's actually a very, very good college. Don't take anything negative that's being stated about these people that went to that school and attribute it back to the school. Please don't ever do that. The school is excellent. The school is great. The people there are great. The administrators are, the teachers are there. The lawyers, there's many lawyers that were actually teaching the courses that are part of legal nurse consulting and life care planning, in fact, and they're all just wonderful. Okay, so don't ever do that. Okay, and they should actually be embarrassed that these people are product of their university. All right, they really should be, because that's not what they stand for. All right, and these people went against what that school represents, what the whole bar represents, what the judicial system represents, okay, what the Constitution represents. All right, just what everything that all encompasses liberty and human civil constitutional rights all encompasses. All these individuals that I'm mentioning here now have gone against them, and they did it on purpose, and they did it with malicious intent. And somebody has been harmed and severely harmed as a direct result of what they did. Okay, so what they do, I'm not no fucking attorney. I'm not trying to be. All right, I'm not trying to be. I have to be, because I have to be for myself, which is legal. I don't know shit. That's what they try to trip you up on. They always keep telling what you did, what you didn't do, what you did wrong. It's not the civil procedure, try to get you tripped up on some bullshit. But that's also another way that you can learn as well, when you begin to do the pro se filings and shit like that. I've learned over the years trying to advocate for myself, because I'm not an attorney, I can't afford an attorney. And also what I'm finding out, like in the CVS health cases that's also down at Franklin County Court of Common Pleas, you need to watch this case. This is employment. So the overarching thing here is employment. So we talked about housing, now we're talking about employment. These are actually public policy and public interest types of topics and stuff like that. They have all these alternate subcategories that really the public should know about, and the public should have awareness, and the public should have an opinion on it. All right, because this is the fundamental thing that all these motherfuckers out here in your public offices and that make the legislatures and all this type of shit. This is what they stand for. This is what they say. What they fight against. This is what they're representing. And they say they're like, we're fighting for the housing. We're fighting for these employment rights. So when the rights are being revoked under these things that they're really standing on as the basis for whatever they're having you believe out here, that why they want your vote. Understand me? Why they want your vote? Why they want to utilize your taxpayer dollars towards certain shit, but they're really not doing what they're supposed to be doing. You have to know about this. You have to know about what these things are, other things that are going on. Hey, Lou, about ready? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do. I got to take my grandbaby to speech theater. But yeah, just give you a little bit of insight or whatever. So anyhow, that's the bullshit that went on. And yeah, we'll come back. We'll talk about CVS and shit like that. So yeah, that's another case where Alex Frondorf and Richard Diageo, they work for Littler Mendelson PC, 22CB 007866. It's at Franklin County Court of Common Pleas right now. Judge Chris Brown, now classified as a lazy judge, is on that case. Then I actually have to file a lawsuit against this law firm and a lawsuit against Atty Resource LLC. Again, because Atty Resources LLC, CVS, they just breached the whole general release and NSA EEOC agreement. They really did breach it. They know the rightful owner of the property. So they're masking and disguising the fact that they really do know the rightful owner of the property, right? $15,028, that's mine. They owe it to me. And in fact, Richard Diageo, he made sure that he voided out the agreement, the general release agreement. He voided it out to make sure he took out any specific language allocating 15,000, 15,028, 2 cent, a food stamp, anything to Spitz law firm. He did that. He did it on purpose, deliberately, and willfully, right? When I said what you trying to do, trick somebody into signing this shit? Like, y'all already know there is no lien on my money on my property. CVS owes me, okay? There's no lien, there's no court order, there's no judgment, all right? At all, period. They all know this. They all knew it even before the mediation here, okay? So Richard Diageo and the ELC mediator, Salvador Lopez, what they did was they was accused of trying to trick somebody. Salvador, he said he knows Greg Schumacher, Spitz law firm. So of course he's on their side, right? He's a whole fucking mediator, but really he's biased. He's on the side of Spitz law firm, knowing that they've been fired, honey. I'm fucking pro se. Spitz law firm can't prove shit. Spitz law firm, you more than welcome to come on here and say some shit. They told the court they had over 200 documents as if that was their work. It's not their work. Over 200 documents is my work and my blood, sweat, and tears, and my research, everything that I've done, my evidentiary work, my discovery, my truth seeking shit, me participating in interviews, me filing charges, me uploading shit to portals, me going to the library and making copies, me sending out shit, me putting in claims, me doing all that. Okay, me filing motions and pleadings in all these different employment cases, me filing the motion and pleading down there with the federal damn court in 2:22022519, me filing the complaint with OSHA and the whistleblower complaint, me doing it, me filing the EEOC charges, every last one of them, me putting all the damn evidence in there, all the shit, me doing every fucking thing, okay? And you can't find no motion, no pleading, not shit that's been undone for me. You can't find that they participated in any type of depositions. You can't find that they did any type of evidentiary work. You can't find they did any type of fucking discovery. What they did was send one fucking letter over to Aetna, was an initial demand for settlement fucking letter, never contacted me ever again to say Jack Smack shit, what they said after the fucking letter was sent over to their ass. What did they say? What you fucking you over there negotiating? I don't know shit about what's going on. Bitch, you fired. You talking about call me talking about you reached a settlement of what and how? I've never done anything wrong. I ain't never had no bad performance review ever in my life. These are liars. They're fucking retaliated. They said they did nothing wrong. And I'll tell you right now, in Ohio, you don't get unemployment when you was the cause of your own fucking termination, okay? But I got unemployment from that. They said they didn't do nothing wrong. Okay, that's fine. All right, so we came to a damn agreement and shit like that. You owe me all my money. It's a confidential settlement amount. But yeah, they want to hold on to $15,028 of my motherfucking money and pretend down there at the courthouse like they don't know whose money it is. They know exactly whose money it is. They wrote up some bullshit ass agreement trying to give Spitz law firm my fucking money, knowing $15,000, knowing that there is no damn lien at all, point blank period. Okay. Then when they were caught, they revised it and took all the specific language out of the agreements. The EEOC mediator did it, and so did Richard Diageo. Okay, where's the complication? Then Richard Diageo said, I understand your position. We have all the evidence. It's in the email he told him his fucking self. Richard, what's his name? Salvador. He sent the email out to everybody. Said, listen, the charging party said, in light of everything that's happened, if that verbiage stays in these agreements, she's not going to agree to any type of settlement whatsoever. So we voided it. Okay, so why are you got this shit in the court? Acting like you don't know who the rightful owner. Okay, so what they actually did do, Richard Diageo, he sent me an email and he said, hey, can I have the consent to hold your property $15,028 because Spitz law firm telling me that they're going to sue me and my colleague and my firm with another some PC, but we don't come to some type of agreement of the $15,028. Bitch, we don't even come to no agreement. That's my money. Well, who do you think you are? I don't give a fuck they told you that they're going to sue you. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't have been over there telling them. What he did was Richard Diageo, he went over there to a Spitz law firm. He was going to pay them $15,000 out of my money. Yes, he did. He asked for their W-9, but he neglected to go back and tell them that he fucking himself, he voided out the entire agreement. There is no agreement that pays them nothing. It doesn't exist. All right. So then he sent them a message and said, listen, CVS is going to issue me, the charging party, $15,028 of her money because it is part of the overall total settlement amount and they get in an NSA agreement and we're to pay her the entire sum directly. But you're over there at the court in 22 CV 7866 Franklin County Court of Common Pleas acting like, oh, woe is me, we don't know, we're just an innocent party. And they try to pass themselves off to be an insurance company that we just don't know. And this and that. It's a whole lie, it's a whole bunch of bullshit. They all know. They went down there and filed that fucking case to cover their own ass, participating in fraud on the court. Okay. I told him, no, you can't have consent to take my money. He knew he had to ask me because you have to by law. You can't gain control over somebody's property and do whatever you want with it. Okay. But he decided, he took the risk and he did it on his own. He decided, oh, we got to figure out something. So they seized my property without consent. They did it on purpose, deliberately, and with malicious intent. They did. That's actually theft. And because of the amount, it's felony theft. So why are they free? Why are they plastered on the news? They're actual suspects. Why are they in jail? Alex Frondorf and Richard Diageo. Go watch the case. Alex Frondorf, he filed it November 19 of 2022. Nothing's been done on it. Chris Brown has not ruled on any type of motion. The money, which is my fucking rightful property, CBS has not sent me yet, and the resources not sent me my shit yet. Okay, it's not in a trust account. All right, it's not in any court fucking registry. All right, okay, no innocent party that doesn't have an interest or ownership in the fucking money is holding on to it. Aetna has it in its hands, in its control right now. Its own attorneys, Richard Diageo and Alex Frondorf, they stole it. All right. And everybody knows it. The world knows it. Nobody's doing nothing about it. Okay. Nobody's doing shit about it. They fucking committed a criminal act. And why are they in jail? Okay. We're never going to let it die. CBS looked at her and sending them my motherfucking $15,000. And where's the interest on my shit? It ain't no trust fund. EEOC knows about it. They know what their fucking employee did, Salvador Lopez. Yes, they do. They know all about it. They know that my money's been stolen and everything. Joyce Beatty, Representative Joyce Beatty's office, somebody named Larry Seward or whatever. He was supposed to send an inquiry over there. They claimed they did an investigation. Somebody named Jamie Williamson claimed she did a fucking investigation. But then she sat up here and said, oh, we're not privy to the mediation specifics. Well, bitch, the mediation specifics is what matters here. Okay, see, it's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of lies. The EEOC is not stepping in and enforcing their own MSA agreement, and they know there was no real specific difference of how the general leaves and their fucking agreement broke down the money and the payment. It's all a lie. It's all a mask to just have you out there believing what the fuck ever. And the truth is, my money been stolen. $15,028 CBS Aetna Resources owes me. They look good. Go ahead and send it. All right, they are robbers. Yes, they are. They're participating in fraud on the court. They use the otherwise legal process to file some frivolous fake ass shit in the damn court. Judges is covering up for them. Ain't no ruling whatsoever been done on that case since November 2022. And they all know that my money has been stolen and shit like that. You see the shit that goes on, you see the corruption and all that. So Judge Chris Brown, I mean, he probably need arrested too. Michael Holbrook, all of y'all. I mean, what's going on? Why y'all covering for each other? You can't find shit in the Black Law's dictionary to substantiate your bullshit, can you? You thought you were dealing with a motherfucking dummy instead of just playing on my fucking money and shit like that. Go check out that case, all public record, 22 CV 7866. Okay. The cases that I filed against them is all consolidated. So you can go look it up for yourself. You can draw your own conclusion, share this video, comment, boost it, let everybody in the world know this is what really goes on in Columbus, Ohio. And it's actually routine with Clutter Common Pleas, honey. Judge Karen Fifth, Judge Chris Brown, Michael Holbrook, all of them. Somebody need to go pull all their fucking cases and see what there's fucking really going on. Okay. And the Ohio Supreme Court, they know about it. Grievance has been filed on everybody. New Jersey, attorney, what's his name in there to Diageo. He's a New Jersey attorney. Everybody knows everything. Nobody's doing shit about it. But now I'm facing eviction. I'm here to be homeless. Okay, I can't find no job because of course, what did they do? They blacklisted me or they did whatever. You know, it's pretty much career suicide when you do shit that I'm doing, trying to advocate and everything like that. So it is what it is. Okay, it is what it is. But if you go ahead and send my 15,000, maybe I can pay my rent. I won't be on the fucking street with my damn autistic grandbaby and shit like that. And my son is mentally ill. I appreciate it sending my motherfucking money that you stole. All right. So anyway, have a good evening, boo boos. Love y'all.